Welcome back to the garage. This is Brad with Brad's Designs. Just wanted to go make another video to go over some of the updates, last minute revisions to the underseat tackle box trays for the Old Town PDL, as well as these will work for the Sportsman paddle models, as mentioned in the previous video. Couple quick things just to go over. We will have the listing up on the website tomorrow. Do ask for people to be patient. I have a feeling that there will be a few people interested in this. Currently, to make a set of these, which a set is what we're listing these as is a set is a left tray, a right tray, 2 dividers, and 2 clips. So if you want to be able to carry two 3600s, you'll need to get 2 sets. But anyway, a set currently is taking about 5 to 6 hours to produce. So to be able to hold 2 3600 tackle boxes, it's going to take roughly 10 to 12 hours to produce. So obviously that's a lot of time. And, again, just asking for patience. We're going to be getting these out as quickly as possible. What we also will be initially offering is the trays in black or orange. Those seem to be the most popular and predominant colors in Old Town kayaks. The dividers and clips will just be mass produced in black. As always, though, I will do my best to accommodate custom requests. So if you'd like a different color or a different color combination, let us know on your order. I'll reach out. We'll figure it out. Just understand that anything custom may take a little longer to get to you, but we'll work it in and do our best to make it happen. Couple quick things I wanted to go over on the latest revisions. After talking with somebody who had a Sportsman model, it became quickly apparent that because of how the Sportsman has fixed seat clips on the front, much like on the Minn Kota and the Autopilot, even with moderate front seat risers, the trays would still need to sit below the sidewall of the kayak. And so, just racking my brain, it quickly became apparent that instead of going with just a short little clip, which is what I was originally going to use, we needed to come up with some sort of longer clip like this that had multiple mounting options that, as you can see, allow you to mount this well below the sidewall. Currently, I have the screws in the 3rd hole down, so it's only that far down. Now, I have shortened this up by a little bit, but you have quite a ways that you can lower this down. And that's going to be great for the people with a Sportsman, but even PDL users, this is going to be really helpful. And what I wanted to show real quick is, if you remember in the last video, when I had the seat risers removed here, when you put the seat down, it was basically pinching on the tackle boxes up here, and you couldn't remove them. Well, now with the tray sitting below, at a downward angle, not only does that actually help hold the tackle boxes in, they don't want to slide out, but it is extremely easy to remove. And basically what we've done is we've, decreased that angle between these 2 crossbars up here. So that's going to be, of great benefit for anybody with a PDL, because now you have a lot more adjustability depending on if you have seat risers. If you don't, this really should be able to work for just about anybody. Speaking of anybody, I had a couple of people reach out after the first video when I went over the holes in the seat rail. A couple of people said, hey, I've got mine set it on the 4th hole or even on the 3rd hole. So came up with a quick solution. And basically what these are just laser cut spacers that just extends this out. I've got 3 screws in here, not the right screw. We need to get some flathead screws, but this is what I had. And I've essentially added 2.5 inches. So what you can see now is we've added a substantial amount of length to where, you know, even if you're on that fourth hole, the third hole should still work. Maybe even the second, you know, we'll need to do some testing there. But if you're on the second hole, you know, you've got some pretty short legs. You know, we'll try to find a solution for you. We'll make it work. But anyway, just wanted to kind of point that out. We have this, the listing when it comes out won't have an option for this, but if you need something like this, just reach out to us. You know, I'll set you up with the spacers. You know, the hardware is going to cost, you know, a few bucks more. It just costs me some money to get that, or you can go out and get it yourself. The other items I wanted to touch on real quick are when you go to install the trays and you get them, you know, again, these are plastic. I'm not saying you have to be completely delicate, but they do flex a little bit. So when you install the front here, it'll just pop right on. And what I typically do is just kind of pinch this back and, you know, just gently spread it out, pop it on, and it's good. You know, it's not going to pop on right by itself, but easy enough to install. The other thing I wanted to point out is when you install the you know, the clip here at the back and figure out what height is going to work best for you, I highly recommend that you put the screws further to the back, or I'm sorry, further to the sidewall. And what this will do is just reduce the amount of flex that's occurring here. There's not really a lot, but I figure, hey, why chance it? You know, so install it over here if you can for whatever reason. You know, the rest of these holes are really here for future compatibility. I've still got some ideas on, you know, how to make this a cleaner install. You know, hopefully most people are okay with this kind of do-it-yourself solution. I mean, in the end, it seems silly for me to go out and get a piece of wood and have to charge, you know, whatever it would cost to ship a 24, 26-inch piece of wood. Maybe even I have to, you know, leave it a little longer when these cost $2 or less. So hopefully that's not a big deal, at least at this point. I do have some ideas because now you can see how this angles down. Well, it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but it angles down to this raised area where the rear hatch is. So, you know, again, just some things to consider. The other thing I wanted to point out is when you install these screws, they're going to self-tap. They're going to create their own threads in the plastic in this clip. So I would recommend using a manual screwdriver or a battery, you know, screwdriver. Don't use a drill. Don't use a impact driver. You will strip these out. You know, I use just a cheap little battery operated screwdriver, and you'll feel when it tightens up. You don't need to go much past that. You know, again, if you have any issues, you know, please feel free to reach out. You know, I'm all about trying to help people out. Things happen. Speaking of, you know, keep in mind, you know, the tackle boxes you're putting in here. If you've got a tackle box that has a lot of weight in it, you know, all your sinkers and stuff, you know, if you're slamming it back here, you might break one of these off. Just reach out. We'll set you up. You know, if you have a lot of weight and it's putting a lot of downforce, you know, in this direct connection, not a big deal because it's kind of a shear force going down. But again, just kind of be mindful of that, you know. But if something happens, reach out to me. You know, stuff happens, things break. I want you to use this stuff. And the best way that we can all learn, especially me, is, you know, getting feedback from people. If it breaks, I want to know about it. So definitely let me know. We'll get you set up. Typically, I just ask for a little help on covering the shipping. But I'll get you set up with replacements. Not a big deal. You know, other than that, if you want to add a few more screws, these will come with just 2 screws to mount. That's pretty much all you need. But if you think you're going to have a lot of weight, the screws that go through here are just number 10 by 24 flathead, 1/2-inch length. Not, you know, easy enough to find. So if you feel like you've got a lot of weight, maybe you see it torquing a little bit and you want to add a couple more screws just to firm that up, not a big deal. Again, we'll have this up on the website tomorrow. I would highly recommend everybody follow us on Facebook if you aren't already. May or may not have some sort of introductory code. No hints there. And then for anybody watching in the future, definitely follow us on Facebook. A lot of times we're posting up new ideas and getting feedback. I thrive off of hearing ideas from other people. A lot of stuff we produce wasn't necessarily my idea or something that I use regularly, but somebody suggested it. And, especially for other kayak brands, would love to be able to try to make something like this work for other brands, if it's feasible. So feel free to reach out. As always, I'm happy to answer questions, happy to try to find a solution. And as always, I appreciate it. Thank you.